Hello and good evening. My name is Sean Arsenault, and today I'll present my article proposal titled The Overlooked Classroom: Equity, Policy, and Success Factors in Alternative Education for Black Students. The purpose of this research is to explore how systemic factors and targeted strategies can improve academic and behavioral outcomes for Black students in alternative education settings. Currently, I'm a school social worker at our school district's K through 12 alternative site. Originally, my plan of research was focused on grades 6 through 12. However, I am thinking about assessing all three grade levels, elementary, middle, and high in my research. So, introduction. Alternative education plays a critical role in serving students who face challenges in traditional schools. However, Black students are disproportionately represented in these settings. Since I have been practicing in an alternative setting, I see this firsthand. During or for my article proposal, I would like to explore some historical and current policies that have led to Black students being in this setting disproportionately than others. So some policies I want to review are Brown versus Board of Education, No Child Left Behind, and the Every Student Succeeds. Literature review. Research highlights persistent racial disparities in alternative education. While conducting my research, I will be using theoretical frameworks like critical race theory, standards-based theory, and restorative justice to provide a deeper understanding of these inequities. However, there is limited literature on success factors tailored for Black students specifically in these environments. Additionally to looking at just overall success factors within the alternative setting, I would really like to explore and examine the alternative settings in Louisiana. Currently, all of our systems are focused on punitive measures, and I want to see how that can be changed if what we're doing is not working. All right, so for key factors for success, my article proposal currently identifies 6 critical factors. The first being culturally responsive pedagogy, so teaching that reflects the student's identities. A big part of that, and also into educator and student relationships, building trust and engagement. I do want to highlight that it is just my personal belief that when students see teachers or authority figures that look like them, they're more responsive. And so, in my currently where I'm working, I see that firsthand, but I would like to prove that. The third is family and community involvement. Strong community partnerships and strong family partnerships support learning, and it's so important that we have a parent engagement factor when we're talking about students who are in this setting. Also, looking at mental health and social emotional learning support. Addressing the emotional well being of students in this setting is critical. It is so needed. Um, Along with that, we have high expectations and academic support. How can we promote not only emotional achievement, behavioral achievement, but also academic achievement? And then looking at restorative discipline practices instead of punitive. So just moving away from that part of the spectrum and seeing how students can truly progress. All right, case study. So in my article, I do want to highlight some programs that integrate these factors and then show promising results. For example, schools that are already implementing restorative practices and culturally responsive teaching report improved student engagement and reduced disciplinary referrals. One aspect of this that could be very difficult is that currently there's a lack of longitudinal studies that have been explored if these practices have been beneficial to these students long term. So that is one thing that I really need to evaluate and assess when writing this article is making sure that I have the right programs that show some longitudinal growth within their students that have attended. Okay, so discussion and conclusion. So this research definitely has implications for educators, administrators, and policymakers. By prioritizing equity and culturally responsive strategies, we can transform alternative education sites into a space of opportunity rather than exclusion or a dumping ground. Like mentioned in the previous slide, future research should explore models that can be scaled and tracked with fidelity and long-term outcomes. Ultimately, systemic change is essential to ensure success for all students. And here are just a few references that I will be using. This is only 6, but I can tell you there will be a lot more. And again, I want to thank you for your time. I welcome any questions, any feedback, advice, or any recommendations on what and where to research as it relates to my topic. Again, I say thank you.